then again, and I 100% agree with right now.
He's
Well, I mean,
brought himself
that's
back in the
you
conversation.
talk about a
His
Heisman.
stats are crazy, and
This
then
is
the body of work is even more crazy
this
over
is a
over
big
his
time
career.
Heisman stage this weekend. With
Yeah,
you guys,
yeah.
especially for Barkley because
Barkley and Barrett.
Barkley will be. This will be a good game for Barkley just for his NFL for me to see with that D line because you guys got an NFL D line. And
I just think whoever holds serve the best, and I think Ohio State will, because they're both going to go down the field and score. I mean, there's no question about that. With the talent on both sides, I think Ohio State's defense is going to be the difference.
I would tend to agree with you. I think it's going to be a lot like, I think it also come down to what quarterbacks will make a play. I think, they're going to make JT throw the ball on the field. So
I think both quarterbacks are going to make plays.
Yeah.
And Michigan's or Penn State's got that tight end who can do anything at any time, which Ohio State doesn't really utilize our tight end as much as we could probably.
Yeah.
But that's irrelevant. That doesn't matter as much. And again, Barkley's anytime, any place, and McSorley. Boom,
Now, what was Alabama like in person? If we're
geez.
scouting the.
Maybe we'll get into that more in our
Yeah,
last
in the
segment.
second, yeah.
But overall, you're at the Mecca. I mean, they think it's all begins and ends in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
I'll just give you a little. I think the stadium. I'd take Ohio State Stadium atmosphere. In my opinion, call me homer, call me
how
biased.
many short sleeve button ups you see with khaki shorts and everything else.
And the co-ed wars. Well, that's that. I think I gotta give that one to Oklahoma
Yeah.
probably. But maybe because I see more. At the game, I'm already in the stadium when Ohio State students pretty much come. Going to Alabama, my friend and I, we had a chance to walk the oval and appreciate all the.
Well, we'll hit the
Pre-game.
rest of it later, but the last one as we close this segment out. What was the Texas high school football like as opposed to?
Well, I didn't see actual game because
Okay, you
I didn't
see the
have
stadium.
Yeah, he took me to South Lake Carroll, one of the best perennial high schools in Division 6. I think is their top.
How was that $100 million stadium?
20,000 seat stadium, just incredible. I posted a couple pictures on it and just. I was just and they already had it was 1:30 in the afternoon or so when we were there before our plane to Jackson, Mississippi. They tailgate. But what they do is they all come early and there's chairs all over the parking spots.
Yeah.
And it's all, these people are already, there's nobody there, but they're already pregame ready to go.
Their spots.
It's a Friday. They had a game that night, and they're expecting that.
1:30 in the afternoon.
Stadium's beautiful. The parking lot's got all these, and they obviously respect each other. It must be first come, first serve.
Yeah.
And because they're all the chairs, they put chairs in their parking lanes, and I guess that's gives you your right, or maybe it's a season ticket holder. I don't know.
They do. Everything's a little bigger
the
in
stadium,
Texas,
you walk
I
in.
guess.
I mean,
Yeah.
cement stadium, bleachers, some chair.
all bowled in.
It wasn't connected bowled, but it was three. It had a good sideline, visitor side. The home is where the beauty is in the press box, and then they have in this end zone they have stands across like Maslin, but on this end it's open with the scoreboard and everything, and it's just a beautiful. First, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
They're green and white, I guess, or green and I don't know what color. Green is their color. They're dragons.
Yeah.
And they're a perennial power, and I say, well, where does this rank? Stadium, probably maybe the top 10, maybe the top 20, top 20. Other than Camp McKinley, I haven't seen a stadium that looks like that anywhere in Ohio.
For
high school football.
Cam McKinley's probably the number one in the country
And
now.
because of the NFL.
Yeah.
I said, that's
the thing about
that's Chairback City.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's just a high school team. They got crazy that
That's just their stadium.
Yeah.
And I guess it's top maybe one of that.
And actually to go back, I didn't know that when we were in Northern Iowa, that's where they play their state championships at in Iowa.
The Unidome.
Yeah, in there. That's
Well,
pretty
ain't bad
cool.
because of the weather, probably. I'm sure when it gets to that point. And keep this in mind too. If say Ohio State should win and beat Penn State, they're going to play Iowa at night on the road in the future.
Which is always a tough
Kinnick
game.
Stadium,
Yeah.
That's one I kind of would like to go to, but I'm not.
Have you ever been to Iowa?
No, that's one that I haven't been to, and it would probably be the perfect time. But
have you been to
right
Wisconsin?
now, it's not a good time for me. I've been to Wisconsin.
How do you guys keep sneaking that Wisconsin up the schedule?
Well, we played them last year. Remember, right
you're
before Penn
right.
State.
Yes.
We barely beat them, and then we a night game, and then they had a bye week, and we went there. Just like Michigan, we have a bye week. They play Michigan. That's at home. That would be like them playing Michigan on the road, and then we play Wisconsin on the road, and then Penn State on the road. Both night games.
There'll be a tough
on the road.
That'll be whoever ends up getting there. That'll be an exciting Big Ten championship game.
I think so, and I think probably it's going to be against Wisconsin, obviously.
I think same with the Big 12 as a championship game this year. I think that'll be
because
I'm a TCU.
It's a real deal, but is that conference a real deal? I guess we'll find. I think the Pac-12's out pretty much.
Yeah, I think kind of Notre Dame eliminated them this past week.
Notre Dame has a shot at one of them. You got Alabama. You got. Is it going to be Clemson? I don't even know.
You think Clemson? I mean, Georgia. I think keep winning out. So that'll be a tough one.
Well, you can't. I mean, that's not going to happen. You're not going to. I don't think, especially if Notre Dame gets in, you're not going to.
Yeah.
There won't be room for two teams. You're in the ACC and a Big Ten representative.
The problem will be that's where your mess will come in, because if Notre Dame would happen to be one loss.
Miami Hurricanes though too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're going to play Notre Dame, and we'll see. Miami's probably. I'm glad this is the last time they're on the schedule with Notre Dame, because what I've seen, they got young guys.
Where's that game
They got linebackers. It is actually at Miami.
And it's probably going to be in the rain, and they'll probably lose.
Yeah, of course.
And they'll probably lose.
Yeah.
I like Clemson.
That'll probably be our, our deal. But, like I said, that could be where you could run into a little bit of mess where you got, what if Georgia beats Alabama? So you have those two as a one loss. You could have, Ohio State beats Penn State, and now you got, then you have, if say Notre Dame goes one loss, now you have an undefeated TCU, now you just got a jumbled mess. But, I don't think, if Notre Dame went one loss, looking at their resume, I think they should be in. But
can't argue with it.
My eye test. I also would like to try to see 4 teams that I think could potentially win the national championship. I don't know if Notre Dame's there. I don't think they're there yet to beat in Alabama. I think I think you guys have enough athletes to maybe compete with a team like Alabama. I think Clemson does right now. And honestly, I think a Georgia does right now, because they just got freaks, But
Urban's in danger of becoming Big Game Bob, if you will.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't be losing these big games every year.
And this is a big one.
This is comparable to Michigan State 2 years ago.
And I'm sure and like as we said, I read that stat. I think I read it to you week 2 of the show. Just he's only lost 2 games it's kind of a revenge game. I would, if I'm gonna wager money, I'll see. But I mean, obviously Vegas thinks that way. I think you guys are 6-point favorites. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah,
but I guess the home field is playing a part in that, and maybe the revenge factor as well from last season. Not winning the Big Ten.
But I'm kind of upset that I'll have to be watching it on my phone and going. I'm nervous, man, because like I said,
I never get to see.
I got when I go through it, if you just backtrack, I lost YSU this past weekend. YSU the weekend before I attended. The Ohio State game. I am the black
You're
cloud.
Big Game Bob here.
I'm Big Game Ryan here, just bringing the black cloud into the stadium. But my wife's excited to go see the game. So.
Well, Hubbard's here. Unfortunately, they're not going to be in the postseason, but a good season, I guess.
Yeah.
Overall, if you look at it, young Johnny Masoro's defensive coordinator for Hubbard.
I see him over there with their son. That's always
Lucas,
a cool connection to see. Father son.
And I want to still, because they're a perennial. They've been a perennial playoff team last. Since.
And like I said, you get your ebbs and your flows, and it's going to happen at some point. But I'm sure they'll be right back next year.
Sure, and we'll be back too in the segment. And coming up next, we'll have more yards after contact from Kelly's Bar, Mahoney Avenue in Youngstown, Ohio.
When you need good quality entertainment for your wedding, private party, or other event, give MVP Entertainment a call at 330-942-2424. We provide quality sound and lighting at great prices. To see what we do, check us out at Coach's Burger Bar in Poland, Ohio on Wednesdays from 6 to 9. On Thursdays, you can see us at Coach's in Salem, Ohio from 7 to 10. And on Sundays, Permane Brothers from 9 to midnight. MVP Entertainment, 330-942-2424.
And welcome to our final edition of Yards After Contact. I'm Gary Houstu. This is from Kelly's Bar on Mahoney Avenue, Youngstown, Ohio. And with me now are two guests from Hubbard High School, assistant coach. Why don't you guys introduce yourself?
John Masora, defense coordinator, Hubbard High School.
Lucas Masora, I play inside linebacker and running back for Hubbard High School.
Well, it's John. Let's start with you. Can you kind of summarize your season in a nutshell here? If you
Sure.
could?
Our season has been frustrating. Can't get over the hump. We know we had a couple kids academically ineligible, which happens, and we've had a few injuries. No excuses. Next man up. We're starting 3 sophomores up front on the O-line. They're good, but they're young. Defensively, we've rolled some kids out that weren't quite ready yet, but they've done a good job. We've played some good teams really tight. We lost by 1 to Lakeview, 7-6. Played Poland tight. Played Girard fairly well. We had to lead in the fourth quarter, let that one slip away. Howland was 14-7. We gave up a touchdown on special teams. Close, but not good enough. We got to get better.
Some young talent, though?
Some
skill
young
positions, too?
Absolutely. Lucas here is a junior. Our quarterback, Davion Daniels, is a junior. Running back. Up front, the line, very young. 3 sophomores and a junior starting for us. 1 senior, Hunter Meyer, does a good job. Defensively, we only have 2 senior starters, I believe, this year, and we're at about 15.8 points a game this year. We've done a fairly good job. Proud of our kids. They play very hard. We just got to find a way to learn how to win.
Now, who else is in the backfield with John?
With Lucas, in the
Lucas,
backfield, Tyreek Moore was.
Yeah,
he had a back injury a couple weeks ago.
He's out, right?
He's limited. I don't know. He's touch and go this week. Who else is in the backfield? Ray Manetti, a very good player for us.
What year?
He's a senior. He has over 400 yards receiving. He's our jet sweep guy. Plays corner and a little bit of safety for us. Scored 7 or 8 touchdowns. He's had a very good year for us.
Before I ask you about your son on defense, you're a defensive coordinator.
Yes.
How about on offense? What does he bring to the?
Very physical. More of a fullback type.
Big game last week, right? Yes. Decent game.
Yeah, he played the whole game. Started out at tight end. Tyreek got hurt. He moved to running back. Had how many carries? 16, 17 carries. He scored 5 or 6 touchdowns for us this year. Had a lot of catches. A couple interceptions, 3 fumble recoveries, 3 fumbles forced. Leads us in sacks. It was all around doing a good job.
Defensively, that was where he shines a little
Defensively,
bit.
He's a linebacker that plays running back, in my opinion, not a running back that plays linebacker. He led us in tackles last year at 158, 157, 156.
As a sophomore.
Yeah, 2 off the school record. He's at 141 this year. Big game against his East. He can get that feather in his cap.
Can you give us a handicap on his measurables, or at least what he's listed at?
He's listed 5'9", 195. That's
on a good day.
He's 195.
So
he is 195. I'll give you that. Or started the season at 195. A little undersized, but I'm very proud of him. He takes on big linemen, knows his angles. He reads plays very well. Very instinctive player. Couldn't be prouder of him defensively. He makes all our adjustments, makes all our calls. Called our defense last year as a sophomore. I'm sure he'll do it again next year.
Maybe this is not a fair question, but is he a little better than you even thought he would be?
He's better than me. He is
well,
better.
Come on, let's raise the bar a little bit.
He's better quicker than I thought he would be. Last year as a sophomore, he played very well. And
there's an instinct there, isn't there? There has to be for all those tackles.
Yeah, and what makes me happy is every game, after the game, the opposing coaches come over and tell me what a good job he's doing. And very seldom do you get that after a game. Makes me proud. I mean, he's very instinctive. I let him call probably half of one of our games where we were up pretty big. I let him call the defense for the second half, and he would have probably done better than I did.
Really?
Yeah, does a good job.
How do you feel about what you've done this year?
I feel like I did pretty good this year, but there's obviously room I can improve on. There's a lot of mistakes I've made, little mistakes here and there. It can push me above where I should. Well, I'm where I should be. These little mistakes I should be above.
Are you an overachiever, would you say? I mean, how would you classify your? I mean, size isn't your forte, obviously, but you make plays. I
just feel like.
Do you have that instinct on the field? Do you feel that?
I can play like the biggest kid on the field.
You study up a lot.
Yeah.
You have to with Dad, or
he
go home and study too.
He watches more film than I probably do. I mean, we track our kids on Huddle how much they watch, and he's usually the most hours watched, and even in practice, formationally, he'll be able to tell us they're going to run these 2 plays out of this formation. He knows his scouting report, and he's aligning people pre-snap all the time. Like I said, we got a lot of young
quarterback on defense.
Absolutely,
obviously.
absolutely.
Do you 2 study together even though, or you just kind of? No, you just get. Yeah, he just.
No, we end up butting heads if we're studying together.
How is it to play for your dad on defense, especially?
like you said, butt heads a lot. A lot of.
Yeah.
All positive stuff, though.
Yeah.
Trying to get better,
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. And one thing at
Yeah.
halftime, I will. He's the first person I talk to. What do you see, stunt-wise, front-wise? Can we do better and differently? And he usually has pretty good instincts in what works. That's a lot of our adjustments at halftime. So what he tells me is open.
Well, tell us about your background. Were you a ball boy or anything like that, or
Yeah, always.
for Hubbard?
As soon as you were at Howland.
Yeah.
He was at Howland. I was a ball boy, water boy, ball boy for
Okay.
Howland. And then he moved to Hubbard, and I've been water boy and ball boy ever since then.
About how many years?
This is year 11. We've
So
been
he's been a little rugrat with them sidelines. Did you dream of this someday when
Yes,
you were a little kid,
absolutely.
playing on that sidelines? Like, 'cause you always see the kids all the time on
Yeah.
the sidelines doing their thing,
Yeah.
regardless of the. But did you have a hero or anybody on Hubbard's team growing up? Or
I remember Blake Novotny playing linebacker, and I
yeah,
wanted to be as good as him, but
thought you could be as good as him.
hopefully I was going to be as big as him, but it didn't work out.
1 out of 2, yeah, no. Yeah. But was it exciting and fun? Do you remember those days when you used to watch
Yeah.
the varsity and?
Yeah, it seems like it's just hard to believe that I'm at this level now that
Yeah.
they were playing at. It
Yeah.
seems like when I was younger, it felt like I would never be able to play at this level.
Unfortunately, probably in one game you'll be really a senior
Yeah.
after this, a leader after this. So,
Yeah.
does it not look good for you, Johnny? Are you guys out?
We're out. Mathematically, we're out for this year. Disappointing.
So,
'cause-
what does that do for Week 10? Do you care much?
Yes,
as much?
absolutely. I
Is it
can tell you this: we haven't had a losing season at Hubbard since 1998.
and you're what now?
4-5.
Whoa.
So a lot rides on this game, and that goes back to Jeff Bake and his staff. When I was at Hubbard, we were rotten. I can tell you that back in 88, 89, and 90, and to see the pride that's been installed in that school since when Jeff took over and following with Brian, it's we expect to win. We expect to be in the playoffs, and we expect to win regional
You've
championships.
had
And
a lot of runs, a
We-
couple
yeah.
runs with
unfortunately, we ran into a buzzsaw with St. V's, had a ball bounce the wrong way, but
that. Does that place still haunt you in any way?
I watch it every week. I really do, and I'm
Still
just
haunts
hoping
me.
it bounces the other way.
Game was over, wasn't it?
It was over.
Can you describe it? Bring us back to that time.
We had
Was it, 2 years ago or 3?
3 years ago.
So
it
you were
was-
8th grade. You weren't even on the team yet, yes?
No, I was on the sideline.
Yeah,
being
we're on the
ball boy.
sidelines.
Okay. Ball boy.
And people forget LJ ran for like 260 that game, had a great game defensively.
But something about you punted, right? Tell us
yeah,
how
we're
it
at the
happened.
50-yard line, around the 50 at the 40. It's 48.
You went for a first down,
third-
didn't get it
We had 3rd and 2. We ran an ISO, I believe, and
at midfield.
midfield we got stopped, so it was no gain, which very seldom happened to LJ. They shot the gap backside, got hit in the backfield, no fault of his own, and so we had 4th and 2. We were going for it, and we jumped off sides. So now we're back at the 42-43, and we punt. We had the best punt coverage we've had ever. We had 10 guys right there. Kid went to the ground, fumbled, not fumbled, whatever. Ball squirted out. One of their little upbacks, ball
Picked it up and
picked
ran.
it up, ran down the sideline. Nobody even knew what was happening. And
Was he down at all? Looking at hindsight,
in my opinion, he was down, but
was it clearly he was kind of down?
he was on the ground with the ball. I don't know if he shuffled it forward to the guy, but it couldn't have worked out any worse for us, obviously, because they were not going to score. And I really believe we would have had Athens the next week, which would have been a challenge, but I don't think they would have stopped us. And now Toledo Central, that might have been the quickest game in the history of football because there might not have been 2 passes through. And who can predict? That was a great group of players. I don't know if I'll ever have that many Division I players on one team again. You got Matt Jones who's starting at West Virginia, Tyler Tafe starting at
Toledo.
obviously LJ.
Okay.
George Hill unfortunately can't play, but he had a full ride to Pitt. Isaiah's playing for YSU. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anybody.
You had some good
It was just
players.
a great group of kids. They worked very hard. We didn't have a lot of depth. And, same thing we're up against now. We play kids both ways. We have 8 guys, excuse me, playing both ways. We just get worn down physically. We got to do a better job in the offseason getting prepared for that.
Who did you play? Who's the toughest team player you remember this year?
This year so far, either Howland or Lakeview, they knocked us around. Howland was a physical game. I was beat up after that game.
Is that one of your toughest
Yeah.
games? Anybody remember specifically from that game?
Jackson Deemer, he was a tough kid.
Yeah,
Hard-nosed
it's hard
kid,
to bring
yeah.
down.
Yeah. Struthers, Willie Mitchell was hard to bring down. He was
Yeah.
obviously.
Did he have
kid.
success against you guys, Willie?
Not much.
3
I
yards
know
to carry.
they had a good passing game.
Yeah.
I think Struthers got a passing game nobody really
Yeah.
pays attention to.
And,
JD
nobody
Hall's
really-
pretty good.
Yeah. Number 2
Against
for them.
Canfield too.
Is that number 2 for them?
He's the quarterback. Nick Adams is the
He's
wide
unbelievable.
receiver.
Fastest kid nobody talks about.
Exactly.
He's
And those two are good. And Willie Mitchell. I mean, if Irucci didn't get hurt, I'm not saying that was their season.
No, but
it certainly was a big
it
part.
It changed
of
their offensive line. They moved the tackle to center to replace him.
So that had to be a big blow for them.
Yeah,
but they
I work with Kurt, and we're across the hall from each other. Actually, Howland, there's coaches.
You got the coaches.
When the recruiters come
Hubbard,
around,
Howland.
Jeff was there from Lowville for a while. Oh, Jeff's still there. When he was at Lowville, was there, and Sean Borowitz coaches with us. The whole Howland staff, Ongaro, Manny. It's
good old Eric.
So it's
Eric's my boy. We go back.
It's you got to be thick-skinned at work. There's a lot goes back and forth at work. He can tell you he's been over there multiple times. It's just it was special the Howland game because I know all those kids because I worked there and they're very tight with their staff and between.
Was it easier or harder to coach against them?
Easier.
You knew their tendencies a little bit more and
easier because I like
Don Menendez.
Yeah, great guy.
3 yards in a cloud of dust for the most part.
Which is. They know against that. We know against us, they're going to go double tight and they're going to bring it at us. It's just we're more of a spread type, but we spread it to run it.
Now, is that an advantage for you to play against that when you pretty know they're sort of predictable, if you will? Are they predictable? Can you give up a secret or two, maybe?
They're gonna run the ball.
For the most part.
I'm not going to say we know their signals, but they're going to run the ball and they're going to come off tackle and they're going to see who's
and they'll
the better
pop
man.
a pass every once in a while. To try to
absolutely.
Take advantage of.
But they were.
You just put 9 in the box when you play.
That's all
them?
you can do. Actually, towards the end of the game, we had 11 in the box. We're bringing our safeties and.
That's rugby. That's not football.
It's not how it's played as much today. I think the game's
Nowadays.
actually going back to that.
Yeah.
I think we've seen our spread stuff now. It's starting to
we don't see any fullbacks hardly at all anymore. That's not even a position. There's a few. Don't even see split backs anymore hardly.
No, it's a one-back spread.
It's unbelievable.
And it's changed the game a lot.
Yeah, especially from even our days.
Yeah.
Man,
I wouldn't know what a spread was even in college. I mean, we didn't see spread in college. It was.
And how many centers snap the ball to the quarterback? Now they all
you
just
look at these college quarterbacks. They don't know how to take a snap under center.
Exactly.
And 7-on-7, I hate 7-on-7s.
Especially because nobody passes.
Yeah.
They play all summer 7 and 7,
and when it comes to it, you're gonna run the ball
in this area. So. How do you feel? What do you build on with this season? Anything positive?
I think we
for
got
next year.
There's a lot of positive. I think our young kids, a lot of them, got more experience than they should have. Hopefully, our academic kids are they're doing what they should be doing now. We just check grades; they're all where they need to be. If we would have made the playoffs, they would have been eligible to be in the playoffs. So.
And Brian's at the high school, right?
He's the principal at the middle school.
At the middle school.
Yeah, we have. Well, Coach Parise is actually at the middle school now. He was at the high school before. But they work hand in hand. I mean, the school's good with that. The kids just didn't do what they had to do. But with our youth, the experience they got, what we have coming back, I think we're going to be pretty good.
Lucas, how do you feel about the season in general?
I feel like we need to get in the weight room a lot more during the off-season.
Yeah.
We didn't have the best off-season workout plan last year, and it reflects, especially when we played Poland. We got bullied. They were a lot stronger than us, and it showed. So we got to make sure everyone gets in the weight room more, gets stronger.
How's your leadership style? Can you describe it? Or are you a leader? You feel like a leader?
I like to think I am.
Yeah?
I like to think I'm a pretty good leader.
Are you vocal?
Yeah, I'm very vocal, especially during games. People will hear it.
Getting people's grill when they need to be?
And it's not, usually not negative, most of the time.
Once in a while.
Encouragement?
Yeah.
Which was very
authoritative encouragement.
For me, it was very. I've never had a sophomore call defensive calls before till last year. And he was very. We had some stronger senior leaders last year, Dave Fernandez and kids like that. But they listened to him, and he grew into it, and he does a good job.
Inspirational leaders, well to the kids. You think?
Yeah, the kids look up to him or look at him. I don't know if they look at him.
Look down to him.
Kids respect him.
That's
man.
his dad.
It's everybody.
Kids respect him. He's a 4-0 in
Thanks
class.
for the height, Dad. So tell him that.
Yeah, it is what it is. But kids really, they listen to him. He's an extension of me on the field.
Handicap Division 4 region, if you could.
Our region?
13.
Our region, obviously, I think
Steubenville's at the top.
Steubenville's
Well deserved,
the
I
favorite.
guess. 8
yeah.
home games in the year ain't too
They
bad.
get good officiating at home too. I mean, it's when I was at Rain, we used to play down there every year. Trust me.
Yeah,
It's,
Urson Porson does, and
yeah.
Boardman played in
I think it's a toss-up after. I don't know much about Paragon, to be very honest with you, but the teams in the area.
Lakeview is a third.
Lakeview's third.
Lakeview can surprise people. You
Lakeview
think?
can surprise people.
Depends who they draw.
They have great skill.
They
Not
do.
that they're bad up front by any means,
Yeah.
but they have a good quarterback.
That's how they can
good
win
skill.
games.
I was most proud of our effort defensively this year against them than anybody. I think that was our best defensive game. Struthers is a team that nobody talks about.
Is it fair to say Lakeview beat Struthers?
I wouldn't say that.
I would go there.
I would. If game's
You're
in
not?
Lakeview, I'll give them a 3-point bump at home, but I think it's a pick'em game. Honestly, I really do.
No disrespect. We talked about Struthers before
Yeah.
the broadcast. J.D. Hall,
Yeah.
Nick Adams, Willie Mitchell. How do you go wrong right there?
I think they're